Ciao guys! So, as for every single time, can you hear me? Both my voice and the game? This time I had some issues at the startup of the PC. I don't know why, I think it was about the update that they pop-ups with anything about my will because of course I don't any update on my low and old PC just before live streaming. But then I think, I suppose, I hope that everything works now. So if you can give me a little feedback about the audio and what you're seeing, please. But again, I think it's pretty stable. I hope, really. Grazie, Sebastian. Really, thank you. Okay, for this part, I save a little more of oil for the lantern, as we see here, the oil lamp, because the last time I really wasted too much because the oil lamp just disappeared in the library. So I played that part faster and I drop it just next to the secret room. Ciao, thanks for being here. And yeah, I could save some oil because it will be crucial for the very last part of game. Then you're gonna to see it. So, what are we going to do now? We finished to explore the Seto manor, and so we need to go under the mansion, the last part of the game. But before that, I want you to read and listen a file which will be pretty useful for getting more the lore of Alone in the Dark. So, let's get back into library. Yes, it was just disappeared. I really couldn't get it. I couldn't get it, and I really don't know why. So yeah, I was. I had a difficult time, but now, no, 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 no. I drop it just here, just near to the book we want to grab. Drop here. All right. And the book, I think it was here. Yeah, that's one. Let's take the oil lamp, of course. Here, baby, thank you. We're gonna to read soon the book, of course. A little more lag than expected, but you know that my quality streaming sucks, guys. Okay, we need to go under there. But before it, let's read the book.
If Rocks Could Talk, or The Story of a Louisiana Plantation by the Marquise de Chamfray.
After the criminal selling off of Florida by the foul usurper, my father elected to remain in this inhospitable land, where we were free at least to express our royalist feelings, and hope our country would come to its senses. In 1818, a certain Pickford bought up Ledoux's land after the poor fellow had ruined himself in unfortunate speculation. Pickford soon turned out to be the most loathsome human we had ever encountered. He was an adventurer of the worst kind, nouveau riche, and bloated with a grotesque sense of self-importance. First came the incessant army of men with shovels, digging into the mountain of earth that was to fill in the surrounding swamp. The undertaking was quite stupendous. We learned from a slave that the final objective was to connect the existing caves with another one of gigantic proportions.
Ciao ragazzi! Ciao guys! So thanks for being here, really!
Racked by a mania of persecution, Elia Pickford constantly fired his workers and hired new ones. He did all he could to keep anyone from learning about his plans. My father was amused and said, "The poor fool will end up getting lost in his own cave." The walls went up, and tongues started wagging. Our detestable neighbor had been a sailor, a ruffian grown rich on questionable trade. Distasteful stories were told of him.
And here's a map of their set. This is the first floor, then you can see several rooms like the kitchen that connected with the living room, the chambers that we saw the zombies, and we resolved that puzzle with the meeting, the human meeting, and also about the ballad room, the opera rooms, and of course you can see some signs that was edited right for the Derceto mission.
When the work was finished, Pickford invited us to the opening of his rambling mansion, which he named Derceto. My father asked what the strange name meant. Pickford answered, "Derceto reminds me of Astarte, the fertility goddess. Around here, the name is Shub-Niggurath. I believe that a name so steeped in evil should be said aloud came as not such a shock to my father, as he himself confided in me some while later. We left immediately. In June of 1862, Derceto was burned down in unexplained circumstances. It was undoubtedly the deed of some jealous Yankee or another. It was amazing to watch the servants rushing into the flames to try and save their bullet-riddled master. After that terrible night, Derceto fell into ruin. Its blackened walls were soon overgrown, as human-built works always are, by ever-present nature. In 1875, the property was eventually bought by a gentleman whose name was Howard Hartwood. I was sorry that my father, who delighted in fine conversation, was no longer alive to enjoy the company of this new neighbor. Learned and well-versed in history, he had made a particular study of piracy. It was Artwood who told me that Pickford had commanded a ship that flew the flag of piracy. That explains the scoundrel's great wealth. Artwood was fascinated by Pickford and undertook a great deal of research in an attempt to find some treasures that he was convinced the pirate had hidden. He went through the ruins inch by inch. He then had the burnt out house rebuilt exactly as it had been and refurbished the library that had miraculously escaped the flames on the night of the Great Fire. Artwood set about studying every volume in that library, and often talked to me of his research. He was a handsome widower, deeply attached to his son Jeremy, who was later to become a professional artist. Artwood worked incessantly, first from the room I offered him, then from his own freshly restored home, which he rebaptized Derceto. I imagine he hoped to enlist the help of the god of good fortune in his treasure hunt. As far as I have ever been able to tell, all his searching came to nothing. There were no lost treasures to be found at Derceto. I learned of Artwood's death while I was in Paris. But that, as they say, is another story.
So, thanks to this file, we got that pirate we fought before. I don't know if you remember that really boss fight that is in the game with the ones that you need to defeat it only with the saber, and you can't use any weapons but just the saber and the sword. Is right this pink foil.
Research. Artwood.
So yeah, there's of course a lore behind that, and also about the place that connected the underground, which is one here in the study, in the Heartwood studies. That this one, and then there's another one that we can go now. Don't worry, thanks for bearing me. That is the part I show you before. You know that I love these kind of things where you can actually get what's happening right through the files in some kind of it's better that we save first. Save, okay. I was saying that I love when we get we understand the map configurations also about the file. That book says that there's another path for getting to the underground, and it's right here. You can see that. You can go there. Just leave the mouses. I am taking the longest road. It's right here. Here's the underground, the second passage. And you can actually use that. Here's the underground. But it's not safe here. Not at all. So you see? Before we read that file, we have no idea which is kind of passage what is. But then we discovered right through that file. And I love this kind of details. Okay, let's return to the Arthur's study. The beginning of the last part of Alone in the Dark. No, I got lost. Sorry for a little bit. No. It's for this way. It's the first floor, of course. I'm a stupid. Okay, right here. I'll never be tired to warn you about this. Again, make a save file right in this room, in this part of game, because if you missed some items, you totally break your save. Totally. You can't keep going and you can't go back to their state. So make a save file just right here. Okay, guys, really, if you want to enjoy Alone in the Dark by your own, just save here and then use that other slot. Okay, a little lag again. For a game from a 3DO, I'm speechless. Okay, let's take the shells and the shotgun, it's done. Sorry guys for the annoying lags. I don't know why are worse than ever. Mm, the lag's pretty heavy now, and I really don't know why. Okay, we are ready. That's what I meant before. You can't go back to their set. So if you didn't pick every single item for going forward to the caves, you totally break your save. So again, make a save file before entering here. See? We're in the other part of the caves we saw before. Uh-oh. Run! The chicken demon! Go away! Whew. Shotgun is always our best friend in survival horror games. Okay. They need to wait a little and then... Run! Alright. here begins the part that I called Super Mario. Now you get why. We have another input for our action, that is jump. I said it was like Super Mario. So I am a totally loser about platform games, so sorry for this part that surely will take so long. She falls by herself, really? Sì, davvero, non l'ho capita neanch'io, Isabella, sinceramente. Cioè, sta continuando a cadere. Cioè, io sto cercando di arrampicarmi e questa cade. Ok, cioè, ho detto che facevo schifo nei giochi platform, ma qua si sta esagerando, eh. Anyway. No, don't jump, please. Ok. Let's take the rifle, even if it's a shotgun, but who knows? Ah, that's so good. Die already! That's a point that I want to talk with you guys. Oh, she put the shotgun on her shoulder. It's great, this animation, really. Anyway, yeah, it's better to save, of course. Yeah, even if she isn't a soldier at all, but she knows how to handle a shotgun. Anyway, that's a part I really want to point out. That which is the real difference between Resident Evil, the first one game from '96, and Alone in the Dark. Which is the truly difference about this. That I really want to point out that survivor horror genre really needs the action part, the shooting part. But warning, you don't need to think. So Resident Evil 4 is a perfect survivor horror because you shoot almost 19% of the time. No guys, survivor horror lives with own balance. A balance about the exploration, a balance about the puzzles, a balance about the files, and the shooting part. What Alone in the Dark has, but again, just a little, is right the action part. That is a focus of survivor horror genre. But I want to repeat myself again. The shooting part don't have to surpass the exploration or the puzzles ones. It's all about a perfect balance about this aspect. That's, in my opinion, what Resident Evil does better than Alone in the Dark, the first one, right for this case. Because in Alone in the Dark, you shoot, and pretty good for being a title like that, for its own era. But don't like the time you spent to exploring and to resolve the puzzles around the whole dash setting. That kind of perfect balance we find right 4 years later in Resident Evil. And that's why I think Resident Evil got so immense success around whole the world. Don't think wrong, of course. Alone in the Dark made a incredible success too. But you know that Resident Evil is right. Has the title of survivor horror master, while unfortunately Alone in the Dark just lost so many years ago. And that's really get me some fun about it, because if you play the sequel Alone in the Dark 2, it's totally the opposite that I'm just talking about. Alone in the Dark 2 is a shooting. It's totally a shooting gamer. Yes, there's a little of explore and some kind of enigmas, but there are just a few. It's all about shooting. And again, survivor horror is not about shooting. Don't just about the shooting. It needs a perfect balance about these features: shooting part, exploration, resort to enigmas, and of course the atmosphere. I really wanted to talk with you guys about this vision of mine about this genre since I love since I was 4 years old. So yeah, thanks for bearing me. What about you guys? Which is the kind of the perfect survival horror in your opinion? Because it's a genre so with so many different styles. So of course you have your own taste about it. We can keep on. Ha! There will be a mess to take it down. Where's the handgun? No, this is the bullet. So reload it. Okay. Um, revolver. All right. It's a revolver this time. Yeah, it's a revolver. So good. Quante cilecche farò? Ma davvero tante. I'm gonna to miss it this shot so many times, guys. I hit it for the first try. I can't believe it. Now the second one. No, no, no. Wow, I'm not pro. No, guys, I'm not at all, but good to know. Okay, jump and save immediately. Thanks. And now let's play Super Mario. A Super Mario, guys. You can't tell I'm wrong here. Yeah, Chris. Chris is my husband, so of course he teach me how to shoot good. Maybe it's better that I save here. Okay. Jump man. Jump woman. Oh my, oh my, oh my. I'm gonna to fall. I know that. I know that. I really know. But I saved. Whew. Okay. The last one. Go for it, Emily. Great. I really didn't want to waste too much time in this part because we're gonna to waste so much time right here. It's a mess. This part is a mess, guys. Everyone is agreed to say that this part is the worst one about Alone in the Dark. Why is it blocked? Mm. Oppure il deficit del bug, dei lag. Quindi fantastico, proprio fantastico. Non solo sono una frana con i platform, ma pure sta roba. Vabbè. I try my best, guys, even if everything is against me now, even my PC with the lags. Wish me luck. Emily, please claim. Claim. She really falls again by her own. No, please. Oh. Sorry, guys, but this part will take a little. Claim it, Emily. Claim it. Okay, just fall here. Here. Good. It's better that we save. I'm going to watch your message soon, guys. But I need to be a little concerned. To take a little... Please, Emily. No! Why she's fallen again? I really needed to realize why she falls once she claims. Oh, save! Faster! Again? Ok. Piano, per favore, non corre! Chi ti ha detto di correre? Fa piano. Piano means slow. Okay? So my Italian arrives when I'm in dangerous times. Save again, because a save is always the good thing to do. Piccoli passi, piccolissimi. Dai, Emily, ce la fai? Sì! We made it! Woo! Really, guys, it was a mess, but we did it! Okay, let me read the chat. Just tell me. And yeah. In this game, this takes such realistic features. If you fall into the waters, some items got oh my bagnate, come che si dice in inglese in questo momento, non mi viene perché sono così. Your items just got the water, and it is, I don't remember the term, sorry. Wet. Okay, wet. Your items get wet, and like the shells, the moss, the lamp get wet, and then you can't be useful anymore. So you can't use your own ammo. In this part, you don't find anything about your supplies, your shells and ammos. So it's so awful if you falls into the waters. And also about the lantern, because it's the main object of whole Alone in the Dark. You know how much time we actually use that through all the game, and that's really a fact by the development of Alone in the Dark. Because as I told you for the first part, I think Alone in the Dark used to be called just In the Dark, and was about the Carter that moves around a mouse totally in the dark, and you have just a lamp, just a lighter, and a few items to get to know which way to go. And you would hear some soundtrack, some ambiental noises, forgetting which part is right to go. So of course, this kind of concept of gameplay was impossible for those times. I remind you, Alone in the Dark is from '92, so even 4 years before Resident Evil 1. So um, they decided to take another route of the development of Alone in the Dark. And then they got the idea to use some discarded ideas like the dark modes or some rooms totally in the dark. And I showed you that through this part of gameplay. Sì, sabotaggio ogni 2 secondi, in questa parte salverei ogni centesimo di secondo. Sono una frana nei platform, quindi guarda, io ho fatto anche meno sabotaggi di quanto mi aspettavo. Ok, and now we read the most important file of whole Alone in the Dark story. That right here, we got everything.
Memoirs of a Lost Soul.
The mask must fall. You who discover this manuscript understand this. I am here at your side. I am waiting in the darkness of my crypt. Soon you will belong to me. One of my slaves wrote this document. I have lived for 3 centuries, and my name is Ezekiel Prext, or Elijah Pickford. You may choose which to call me.
Pay attention to the fantastic dubbing.
I do not hide out of fear. My power is immense. I have sailed the 7 seas. My ship, the Astarte, spread terror through all the continents. The corsairs judged me like the Welsh judges of 1620, but they could not destroy me, and neither could the pirates. Now, I am immobilized. Damned Yankees! witchcraft, voodoo, and the Cthulhu cult. I know them all. I have reigned and implored the stones. Only the Catonian haunts the cavern and resists me, but he dare not attack. I have need of a living body to regenerate myself. The Heartwoods managed to escape from me, but you who are reading these words, you will yield to my embrace.
Ciao, thanks for being here. That, guys, are you getting about this file? It's all about the lore we got through here. Also about the dead scene. Remember that? That once you died, there's a scene that a zombie takes Emily's body and brings her to the altar. It's just right for this because he needs a body for resurrected for all this black, evil, disgusting, and horrible magic that we saw in the library. And that's the reason why Jeremy and Emily's uncle killed himself because he got that he was about to be the body of sacrifice. So he tried to impede it, to eliminate it himself.
I hear your ragged breath and smell the stench of your fear. I have vanquished death. I built Deseto. I know what it is to wait. Cthulhu helps me. My servants will lay you upon the sacrificial stone. My roar will rend the night. You will be mine, and I shall reign once more. Come to me.
It's just amazing. The way that Darwin is in the files, especially this one that you can see all his madness, his evil about own personality towards you, towards the character, toward the player, that he want to use you for reincarnation. It's so awful. It's horrible. And for those times from an 82, it gave you just chills. And it's totally amazing. Because also, as I told you before, even the dead scene is about the lore, is about the currents of narrative, its constancy. That's what I search for all time in the video games, the perfect constancy between the gameplay and the narrative. Yeah, I totally love Alone in the Dark right for this connection about gameplay and the narrative. And another thing, if you're a lover of Lovecraft or Pooh stories, you totally enjoyed more Alone in the Dark story because it's about all these kind of horror sites. It's literally by these great two authors. Even if it's not my personal test, I need to admit that. Even if I'm aware that they were amazing authors, that's not my favorite style for express the horror. But I totally understand why they're so famous. They're so famous about the horror. And yeah, if you love these authors, you totally fall in love in Alone in the Dark because it literally mentions these operas like oh my, I don't know exactly how to pronounce this. Sorry, guys. Really, I'm just stupid sometimes for this. Like the Call of Cthulhu, I think. So it's right about the story of Alone in the Dark itself. Takes place along with the Lovecraft and Poe's ones, and that's great. If I could appreciate all this connection, even if I'm not a fan of this kind of horror genre, I think whom of you love this aspect totally enjoy Along the Dark narrative. Okay, now we need to push this one. Wow, what a strength, Emily! So, which is our focus, our objective in this part? The ultimate objective about this. We need to stop the reincarnation because otherwise the entire world may be got this evil, and we need to stop that. Right with the items we found in the Arthur's room. That's it's more about text, but it's another. It's a little. It's about their set onwards, so you got it. That is right. This, if the lax allows me, the talisman. This one. All right. But this part, this is literally the final one. We're gonna to face it for the last part of a whole Alone in the Dark area. That you see now, we're in the mall totally in the dark, and we have just the lantern. That you see that it's still helpful. Yeah, this part we're gonna to complete for the next live. But don't waste the oil. No, no, no. Okay. Now save. Okay, guys, we finished the fourth part of Alone in the Dark, and the next one, as I told you, will be the last. And what can I say? I thought it could be worse because I started with the PC that totally lags, totally made a mess about the update, and I really didn't know how this live could be. But I'm happy that it was pretty good. I hope you enjoy it. You know that my streaming is about 1 hour, just a little. And yeah, so I really don't want to waste your time anymore. Again, I hope you enjoyed Alone in the Dark and you can appreciate all its gameplay and the narrative that influenced the gameplay part as I showed you. And yeah, I think I do the last part for Tuesday, always at 9 p.m. for the European time +1. And I hope you'll be back for the last part. That'll be a little shorter than the others, but of course because we just needed to um, go to the mouse and then the the last part, this is about to take off the evil tree and then come back. A thing I really love about Alone in the Dark is about the ending. That the ending is literally the start, because you need to come back to the enters of Derceto. I really love that this thing. Just a few things for telling you before I leave you. Just about the reboot. Just 2 words about the reboot. And again, if you want to ask me something about the original Alone in the Dark from '92 or for reboot, just tell me, I'm here. That the reboot isn't a remake at all. The game which was released right last year. It's a good game. I appreciate it and I enjoy that, even because I got the platinum, and I got the platinum just for those games I really enjoy to play. So yeah, I like it. But I wanted something different for Alone in the Dark reboot, because it's pretty different from the original game. It's also about Derceto, it's also about Emily and Edward, but the story are the lore about Derceto and for what's going on, it's pretty different. Just for tell you, Jeremy is still alive. Just for tell you one thing, and that's not a spoiler at all, because you know that Jeremy is alive right in the first cutscene. So don't worry, I'm not going to spoil you anything about the reboot. But it's a different kind of project, unlike for other kind of remake, right? Like Resident Evil 4 remake, that yeah, it's a remake. It's totally a remake. Even if some parts are very different, but the game is pretty the same for the gameplay and the narrative part. While Alone in the Dark, no. Alone in the Dark is about the gameplay. Yeah, it's a survivor horror. So you have a few ammos, a few healthy items. You have great puzzles, exploration part. Yeah, but in my opinion, the awful thing that this part are all separated. It's not about all together, right, Resident Evil style, of course, the trilogy ones. About Resident Evil style, or others like Dino Crisis, Parasite Eve, Project Zero, Flash, Fatal Frame, Silent Hill. In a party, you need to explore and nothing more, and the other side, you just need to shoot. And this is a bad thing in my opinion. But again, Alone in the Dark reboot is a good game and is a survivor horror. It's not a shooter game. It's not a graphic adventure game. It's a survivor horror, really. But it's very different from Alone in the Dark '92, the one which should be got expirated. Sorry. I wanted something more similar about the concept, but I appreciate it. That's what I want to tell you. Lo dico leggermente in italiano per chi mi sta seguendo nella nostra cara lingua, che il reboot di Alone in the Dark è proprio un reboot, non è minimamente un remake, come per esempio Resident Evil 4, che sì, ok, Resident Evil 4 Remake ha delle cose molto diverse riguardanti l'originale, ma comunque il gioco è quello, sia dal piano di gameplay che la parte narrativa, mentre il reboot di Alone in the Dark è molto molto diverso, perché ok che è sempre ambientato a Derceto, ci sono sempre Emily ed Edward, ma proprio la storia è molto diversa, anche il modo in cui tu esplori Derceto è molto differente. Quindi non vi aspettate un rifacimento scala 1 a 1 o comunque similmente a quello che è successo a Resident Evil 4 o ancora meglio, non menziono neanche Resident Evil 1 o Resident Evil Remake, il primo ovviamente, perché lì c'è la perfezione. Again, guys, to me, the perfection of a remake is the right Resident Evil 1 from 2002. You know that Resident Evil Rebirth / remake is the best remake ever. I think just Yakuza Kiwami, which is a totally different series, a different genre, but it's the only remake which can compete to Resident Evil 1 remake about the remake operation. Quindi sì ragazzi, con Alone in the Dark a me è piaciuto il reboot perché l'ho comunque platinato e io sono una che platina soltanto i giochi a cui piace veramente il gameplay o comunque si affeziona alla storia e roba così, e mi è piaciuto, l'ho apprezzato, ma avrei preferito qualcosa di più simile, di un trattamento più simile a quello che abbiamo avuto con Resident Evil 4 Remake, per esempio. E invece sono andati proprio a fare delle cose completamente diverse e piccolo appunto pure le campagne. Purtroppo le campagne di Emily ed Edward sono praticamente identiche, se non per ovviamente i filmati, le interazioni con gli altri personaggi, e tipo mezza location, e questa cosa mi ha dato fastidio più che altro, non tanto perché chissà cosa volevo dal reboot di Alone in the Dark in termini di budget, volevo solamente appunto una cosa, ecco, che migliorasse i difetti classici del primo Alone in the Dark, cioè il difetto tra virgolette classico del primo Alone in the Dark è che la storia e la campagna di Emily è praticamente identica a quella di Edward. Ecco, io volevo, non dico una cosa alla Resident Evil 2 originale che mi fai 4 scenari, no, ovviamente, ma comunque un qualcosa di differente a seconda del gameplay, veramente, hanno praticamente quasi anche le stesse animazioni, cioè non che abbiano le stesse animazioni, ma per dire che sparano e corrono quasi allo stesso modo, capite? Quindi questa cosa mi ha dato un po' fastidio, ma ancora il reboot di Alone in the Dark comunque merita l'attenzione dei fan sia della serie, soprattutto della serie, che del survival horror. Okay, guys, I really wanted to tell you these things about Alone in the Dark reboot because one day I hope I'm gonna to bring it for streaming, but I don't know how to do because my PC can't handle Alone in the Dark at all. Of course, I mean the reboot. So who knows? Maybe one day. Okay, guys, and thanks for your time. I really appreciate that you had the time to spend with my live streamings. I really appreciate so much. Thank you for bearing my horrible English and my childish voice. Really, guys, thank you for all your support. Grazie mille. So I hope a nice weekend, serene Sunday, and good night, good evening, good afternoon, buonanotte, ciao!